Ready? Okay. Hi everybody in YouTube land. We're going to start filling our box that we're using for broken glass plate negatives. So we didn't tape the demo. You can go back to a previous demo and another clip on terms of how to make a clamshell box. Thank you. But we just want to keep in mind that when we make it, we need to make sure that the base is a little bit larger than we've done in the past, because we need to accommodate for double-walled boards on the sides and the back, because that will hold our suspension bottom that you saw in the other clip in place. So what we're going to do is essentially measure the sides and the back, and we're going to make them 2 centimeters shorter than the height of your box.
Centimeters or millimeters?
Centimeters, because the height of your compressed suspension, which we have here, is 2 centimeters, okay? So we want it to be tight inside, okay? So in this case, I know that the height of my box is 7 centimeters, so each piece will be 5 centimeters tall. So I have some scrap board ready to go, and again, we're gonna be using double-walled board. So as I've discussed already, don't try to glue numerous pieces together. Work with existing double-walled corrugated board, because it's adhered together and the adhesive that they use is very strong and won't shift over time. And we're also going to make sure we glue these pieces in. Do not use double-sided tape to keep them in, because you really want to make sure it will keep your suspension bottom locked. So it's pretty straightforward. I'm just going to measure approximately, so we've got about 20 and a half centimeters by 5. So how long is this? Perfect. Okay. So when you're cutting double-walled board, just to keep in mind that it takes a little bit more elbow grease to cut this stuff, because you're cutting through that much more board. So don't be discouraged if it takes a couple of passes to get it through. You want to make sure you have a really nice sharp blade. If you have to start with a fresh blade, by all means. The other thing that's really nice about making containers for broken glass plate negatives is every piece of scrap gets used. So especially with the double walled, you really use absolutely everything, and you will see. So please, if you have any decent scraps, don't get rid of them. Okay, so we have our little walls. So here's my base. I'm going to take these clips off for now. The box was setting. So again, as I said, I want to make sure that I use glue. Okay? Don't use tons. It's going to start bubbling all over the place. So when you put this in, okay? Thank you, Jeff. I want you to look, and I'll hold this up for everybody to see. So I want these pieces to align with the top of the box. So don't squish them down, because you want to create that gap you have at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to use the clip. Again, if you want to not have indents, you could put little scraps on. It's up to you. Okay, I'm going to pause this to show the group. So you can see the board lines up with the top, and you have a 2 centimeter gap down below. Okay? So, I just realized I forgot something, but that's okay. Okay, so just going to do the same thing on the other side. I actually just realized I made a mistake in the box, and I'll point it out for our friends at home. So one thing you can do when you're making your box is actually you can cut out this little square here. This should have been gone, so that it does end up completely flush against your container. So I'm gonna have to cut that out later. Kind of a pain. So I'll keep an eye on you guys when you actually make your own containers. Same thing. And again, you can also work with these existing corners if you want. You can use a piece of B-flute over top of them, and just make sure you have a center piece that's double walled. So it's about 12 centimeters.
So it'd be 2 centimeters to trim off the flat piece.
Yeah. quickly do that. This piece I'm gonna make square. If you wanna go all out, again, anal people in the room, if you wanna make this triangular to fit perfectly within your container, by all means, nobody will see it, but it will give you a bit of extra, more hold. That's very true too. Okay, so I'm just gonna glue this again. If you wanna make your colors flip around, whatever you wanna do. So again, I'm just putting this in place. But again, if you want to, you could use, I'll just use a scrap, so you could use a piece of single wall here and even it out and essentially make this piece come all the way along. It all depends. So once this is secure and ready to go, then we can pull out. Really, I'm rushing this for the sake of the video. You want to make sure your glue is dry. So what you're going to do then is this will just slide. Can you see this okay? This will slide right underneath. Okay?
Genius.